Okay, so we're going to talk about Days for Girls today, and Porter's not here, and I think he's the one that's going to be bringing all those kits. But I would like to have, do any of you girls speak Spanish? Kind of. I just would like to have, and we'll talk about kind of what they are, but I'd like to have both a guy and a girl be over it. It's helpful, or if we just have somebody else who speaks Spanish. But we'll kind of chat about that, and maybe one of our DR students speaks Spanish. That could probably help out with it. They're not here. I mean, our DSU students could help out with it too. It would just be nice to have two students to kind of be over it. Anyways, we're going to talk about that, and then we're going to talk about like health tips for the trip. So we're going to talk about food, water, insect precautions, more like mosquitoes, things like that. Vaccines. What's your name?
Kayla.
Kayla. And then prescriptions and how to protect yourself from theft, like a whole bunch of things. So immunizations, we always require you to get a flu shot. We need the proof of Hep A and B, and then Tdap. Most of you guys have turned in all of your forms. If you haven't, I need those because we have to send all of our stuff to the international office before we go on the trip 3 weeks before. So if you haven't turned that stuff in, make sure that you send it to me. You can just scan it and send me a copy. You can take a picture. Just make sure it's something that I can read. If you open the picture and you send it to me, make sure it's something I can actually read because I have to print it out, and then the international office has to be able to read all that stuff to process you. There's other immunizations that are listed on here, but we're just going to skip through them. Most of you guys, when you turn in your proof of immunization, it says you've had all the other ones, but we really just worry about the flu shot, Hep A and B, and then the Tdap. With the flu shot, if you've had one in the past year, that's fine. We just suggest that you get one for each flu season. We had a lot of students go on the DR trip in December, and a lot of them got the flu even though they had had a flu shot in the past year. Just something to think about. I know some people, when they get the flu shot, they actually get the flu, so I wouldn't do it right before the trip. I would probably get it a little bit before so you're not sick. Like again, we talked about the Tdap. I'll just skip through those ones. The flu, Hep A and B, and the reason why, for Hep A, food and water, and then Hep B, if you're exposed to blood or, I hope nobody's going to try to have sex with anybody on the trip. That would be really awful. But that's one of the things that's on there. Mostly it's just a concern of like blood contact, things like that. Let's get past that one. And then we're going to talk about water. Does this water look safe to drink to anybody? No? Yeah, no, it's not. So people in the Dominican Republic wash their clothes like in the water. So you can wash your hands in it. You can, they can use it to wash clothes, but it's not safe for you to ingest. So don't drink the water at all. When you're brushing your teeth, you have to use a bottle of water. Like don't put any of that water in your mouth because you will get really sick. So just be careful of that. Rita said usually the time when students make that mistake is the first day when they're brushing their teeth. They wet their toothbrush and they're like, oh no, what did I do? So don't be that person. Don't drink the water. You can wash your hands in it, but you can't drink it. Even when you're in the shower, like don't open your mouth and let water go in. Like I know it sounds silly, but it's the little things that you're just gonna forget that you normally do here. Just make sure you have a water bottle. And they'll have tons of waters. You could even bring a plastic water bottle with you, but they'll have plenty of drinks and stuff. So we won't have to stress about that. Again, these are the things, so filtered water, bottled water, hot drinks, canned juice, you can drink all of that stuff, just not the water that comes out of the sink there. And then the same with food. I think 2 of the days we'll be going out like into town and stuff. You don't want to buy like a salad. You don't want to buy any of their food that's not cooked. When we're at Solid Rock, they have salad and fruit. We can eat all of their food. But the food that's at like these markets, we don't want to be buying that. If we go out for ice cream, that's fine. If you're going, and you want something hot while we're out like in the town area, that's fine. It just has to be cooked. Just make sure you're not eating something that's not been cooked. Like I said, uncooked fish, salad, raw vegetables. But again, at Solid Rock, they serve salad and fruit and all that healthy stuff, and we can eat it there, just not at those markets. And then, if you do eat any of those foods, this is what will happen. So if anybody does have those issues, make sure to tell the staff, or there's going to be a bunch of doctors there if you're starting to feel sick. Make sure you're washing your hands often and sanitizing. We'll have hand sanitizer. I think Sierra, you donated a bunch of hand sanitizers, and they'll have a whole bunch there. It might be good to have a little clip one that goes on your backpack just to use while you're there and in the airport, things like that. If you do happen to get sick and have diarrhea, then drink plenty of water. Pepto-Bismol, Imodium, things like that, which I'm sure they will have all of that there. And then another thing that we'll kind of talk about is making sure to bring medication. Like if you get frequent stomach aches, if that's just how you are, I would bring Pepto or Imodium, something to help with your stomach, things like that. If you have any of these symptoms, abdominal cramping, fever, bloody diarrhea, make sure that you let us know. Like if you have any sort of health issues while we're on the trip, don't keep it a secret. Let us know. If you don't feel comfortable talking, you don't have to tell any of the students. You can tell staff if you don't feel comfortable. You can talk to one of the doctors. Just make sure that one of, like me or my sister's the other staff that's going, just let one of us know. Hey, I'm not feeling good. You don't have to tell us the details. We should probably talk to the doctor because I'm not feeling good. So again, wash your hands often. We'll just say that over and over again. And then the other thing is mosquitoes. That's just one of the things that we have to worry about while we're over there. If any of you grew up in an area that is humid and has a lot of mosquitoes, I grew up back east, so I'm kind of used to it. I mean, there's literally mosquitoes all the time. Yeah?
I'm like kind of sick. Can I go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll record this and I'll just send it to you.
Okay.
You're fine. So that's just one thing to think about is the protecting yourself from the mosquitoes. If you've grown up used to it, that's fine, but if you're from Utah, you probably haven't really had much exposure to mosquitoes. So so malaria, mosquito transmitted disease, symptoms may begin after several months after a bite, shaking, chills, high fever, headaches, muscle aches, fatigue, sometimes occurring in cycles. There's a slight risk in the DR. So nothing huge, but there is a slight risk. And then, like I said, if you develop fever, chills, muscle aches, any sort of illness, just let us know. Like Rita said last time, this is probably the safest trip you'll ever go on because there's going to be doctors everywhere. So if you feel any sort of illness at all, don't hesitate to let somebody know. Because the last thing we need is for you to pass out. That would be kind of scary. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word, but it's a parasitic disease transmitted by the bite of an infected sandfly. It kind of hurts too if you get bit by a sandfly. You'll probably know, but if you have any of those markings, make sure to tell one of us if you get bit. I'm not going to try to pronounce that either. What was it? What is it?
Chikungunya.
Chikungunya, okay. Newly recognized illness caused by a virus that spreads through mosquito bites. Again, all of this is just mosquitoes. You're starting, I'm not going to go through all of it, but if you are starting to, feel sick of any sort, just let us know. And then insect precautions. Rita always recommends the Sawyer's Controlled Release. So this one right here. You can buy it on Amazon. I've already found it. I'll actually show you exactly what it looks like if you want to buy it. Amazon. Go to Sawyer insect repellent. It is literally this stuff, and it's like a lotion. Rita said she usually rubs it on in the morning and at night, and that's it. Pretty simple. It's super cheap. It's only $8.50. You could probably buy one bottle, and it probably lasts you the whole time. There's other options too. Where did it go? So you could also buy Insect repellent, make sure it has DEET. Did I say that right? Yeah. And then, like I said, you're applying it to exposed skin. You don't need to like put it on all over your whole body. Like if you have pants and a shirt on, just put it on your, your arms, things like that, just to make sure you don't, get bit by mosquitoes. Wear light colored clothing. I mean, we're gonna be wearing red one of the days. I'm probably gonna wear red like every day because of those 2 scrub tops. I was telling the students over here earlier that for clothing wise, we're going to be wearing scrubs pretty much every day, except for the day we fly there, and then I think Rita said she said we have like 1 or 2 free days. I'm still waiting to get like the actual itinerary from Commanda, who's over in the Dominican Republic. But you probably only need to have 1 or 2, like maybe 2 or 3 scrub outfits, because they'll wash your clothes. If we just leave all of our stuff, Solid Rock will wash it while we're at the clinics, which is really nice of them. So 1 Rural Health Scholars scrub top for everyone, even our DSU students need to have them. For you guys, they're in Casey Shakespeare's office, and then for you, they're in my office. Yeah.
You said they have like scrubs too that they clean.
Yeah. Rita said that they have scrubs down there. I'm gonna make sure that I bring my own, just in case they don't have enough. But if you forget, if you don't want to, go out and spend money on scrubs, they will have them down there. But yeah, so 1 RHS scrub top. Make sure everybody has that. We'll decide which day we're gonna wear that one for the pictures. You can wash it and rewear it again. We just have to make sure we all wear it one day on the same day. And then you could go to the DI to get cheap scrubs, just like another top and a couple, maybe 2 pairs of bottoms, just because you'll probably be a little bit sweaty because it's going to be hot over there. But yeah, so just plan for that. Wear long sleeves and long pants. I mean, we're going to be wearing pants while you're wearing scrubs and stuff. I wouldn't really worry about the long sleeves. Just make sure that you put bug spray or whatever on your arms. Don't wear perfumes or scented soaps or lotions, because those definitely attract them. Pre-treat clothing. Rita can talk about this. I think she'll probably come to the next meeting to talk about pre-treating your clothing, because I'm not planning to do that. But I think students have done it in the past. Some students have done it to the point where they've ruined their clothing. So we'll have her chat about that next time. But anyways, just make sure you bring bug repellent. It doesn't have to be the one I showed you, but that's what I'm gonna get, and that's what Rita said she usually gets. I don't know how to say this word either. Do you any luck there, Kenneth? Cetera. Okay, poisoning. Prevalent in the Dominican Republic, result from eating certain types of reef fish, such as snapper, amberjack, barracuda. I doubt we're going to be eating any of this, but just so you know, don't eat that. Don't eat those types of fish. And then make sure everybody's healthy before they go. Make sure you're taking care of yourselves, getting a good night's rest, especially the week before. Do the best that you can to get a lot of sleep. Make sure you're taking whatever multivitamins you usually take. You don't want to be sick on the trip. You especially don't want to be sick on that, airplane flight. It's going to be a long day of travel. So make sure you get a good night's sleep the night before. You're all ready to go. Do whatever you have to do to help yourself, maybe de-stress, if you're a little nervous, something like that. And then medications, if you are on any type of medication, which we know if you filled out those forms for SU, which everyone needs to do, make sure you bring enough of your medications. You'll want to put them in your carry-on bag. So you'll have, usually everybody will bring a backpack, a carry-on suitcase that you can put above the overhead compartment, and then we'll all have a checked bag for donations and other stuff. But you'll want to make sure that your medications are on the bag. Probably I'd put it like in your backpack where you can access it in case you have any sort of an issue. If you need extras, I would put that in your checked bag, things like that. But just make sure you bring all the stuff that you need. If you are on prescription painkillers or sedatives, make sure you have a note from your doctor. But yeah, just make sure that you have all of the medications that you're gonna need. Medical kit, healthcare items, hand sanitizer, make sure everybody has a flashlight. Rita said sometimes that the generators don't work and there's no light, so if you get out to go to the bathroom at night, maybe it might be good to have a flashlight. First aid kits, I really wouldn't worry about this as much. If you're somebody who, falls down and gets hurt a lot, maybe bring a couple of Band-Aids and stuff like that. But we are gonna, they're gonna have all of that stuff there, and then we are bringing hand sanitizers and things like that with us. Wipes is another thing. The bathrooms, sometimes at the Barrio clinics won't have like wipes or toilet paper. Also, like Rita said, the showers are gonna be cold. Maybe you're not for cold showers. I'd bring wipes, to clean yourself up if, you're against cold showers. It probably won't be that big of an issue. When it's hot and humid, a cold shower is really not the worst thing ever. You'll get out and you'll be dry like that. So, and then have a medical profile sheet with you and a copy of your immunization record. I'll have all that stuff. Like I'll bring the binder of all of the allergies and things you guys have told me about. In case something does happen, we'll know, oh, this student's allergic to this medication. So if you have an allergy and you have not told me, or you haven't put it in writing in one of the forms you filled out, please make sure you let us know, because that would not be good. Insurance, if you have insurance, health insurance, I would make sure that it covers you in another country, and I would ask them what your deductible is going to be if you are to get sick when you're there and you have to go to the hospital. It's usually just better to just pay the $50 for the SUU international insurance. If you do get sick and you go to the hospital and you have to pay, they'll refund you. It's kind of great, and it's only $50 just in case something happens. It's worth it. So if you do have insurance that covers you internationally, I still would probably get the SU international insurance. Just save your family money in case something happens. So, and then let's see. Again, take care of yourself. My sister's name is Brandy, so that's why I put her on there. So if you do get ill or injured or sick or anything like that, make sure you tell one of us before you let anybody else know, and then we'll deal with whatever situation you have. But if you have any problems, I feel like I'm pretty approachable, and my sister's even more approachable than me, I feel like. So don't be afraid to tell us if you have any sort of fears or things you're nervous about or you're not feeling good. Just make sure to come and tell us. So, finances, Rita says to make sure everybody has at least $200 for airport food. If you're wanting to buy, she talked about the dresses they make, the jewelry, the art, buying souvenirs. Make sure you carry it in a money belt, or at least somewhere where nobody's gonna get to it. You don't want anyone to steal. Make sure you keep it in like a safe place. Traveler's checks, carry receipts separate from checks. I really would just do cash, and I would keep it, usually what I do on traveling is keep it in different places. If you happen to have $50 and you lose $50, at least you still have another 50, you know what I mean? So just keep it in a few different places so it doesn't get stolen. Only carry the credit cards you need. In the airport you can use, obviously you'll be able to use credit cards, it's just when we get to the DR, they're not gonna take your credit card if you're trying to buy a souvenir. You'll have to have cash. And they're not like this at the ATMs and stuff. It's not going to work when you're over there. Don't bring any extra. I mean, like I have a wallet and it has a whole bunch of cards. I probably don't need to bring every single card that I have. Just bring the stuff that you actually need. Maybe leave the stuff you don't need at home. If you carry, your social security card in your wallet, probably don't bring that with you. You don't want to lose that there. So, things like that. And then passport. So we'll make 2 copies. One I'll keep in the binder, and the other I'm going to give to Solid Rock to help with the check-in. They usually require that we bring that. And then make sure you don't forget your passport before you're driving to the airport and you forget your passport. You're going to be in a lot of trouble if I never let you on the plane. So make sure everybody has their passport. Make 2 copies of the first page and leave it with a family member, and then leave it in your carry-on or your luggage. Like I said, I'll have 2 copies. We can make multiples. You can come into the office and make copies if that's what you want to do. And then just make sure you keep it in a safe place so you don't lose it. Safety issues, rabies is present in the DR. Avoid the contact with dogs and other animals. If you have a dog or a bat bite or any scratches, you should seek medical attention right away. Rita said that there's usually a lot of dogs walking around and animals and stuff. And I'm like a huge dog lover, so it's gonna be really hard for me to like not touch them, but please don't touch the animals. We really don't want you guys getting sick. They carry rabies and parasites and stuff like that. Any wound or rash for potential infection, medical attention, things like that. Wear sunscreen, make sure everybody brings sunscreen, sunglasses, protective clothing to protect yourself from the sun. Again, put on sunscreen first, and then the bug spray or whatever bug lotion you're going to use. Avoid sexual contact with new partners. Avoid swimming in freshwater lakes, ponds, and streams. I don't think we're going to be near any lakes, ponds, and streams. There'll be a pool, and you guys are more than welcome to swim in that. But I don't think we'll be going to any fresh water. And then always wear footwear. Don't be walking around barefoot, like ever. Another thing is, if you're, a germ person, maybe bring a pair of like shower shoes for the showers that you're using. I mean, I don't know, some people don't really care. I care. So, maybe bring a pair of sandals or something like that. But just don't go barefoot. And then theft, travel in groups, avoid dark areas. Don't be, taken off somewhere where nobody else is. We don't want to lose anybody. We don't want anything to happen to anyone. Look out for pickpockets. I mean, we don't want to be paranoid. We want to enjoy our time, but, be smart about stuff. And then Solid Rock is a very religious organization, so try to dress as modest as you can. If you bring, if you're going to wear a lot of sundresses while you're there, just make sure that they have, it can be a tank top, but we don't want spaghetti straps. Everybody probably knows what modest is. If you don't, you could probably look it up on the internet. And then carry small amounts of money. Like I said, don't put everything in one place. And then if you have another resource for getting funds, if your life is threatened, hand over your valuables. We should be fine. I mean, Solid Rock is pretty safe, but this is all kind of a, in case something happens. But please don't go off anywhere alone. And if we've had this happen on other cultural immersion trips, if you are going to go somewhere, please tell the staff where you're going. Don't just take off, because if I don't know where you are, that's not good. So I'm the staff. As much as it's great that the Solid Rock people are there, please let me know where you're going. Rita mentioned that sometimes there are doctors that do different home types of visits that they'll invite you to go on, things like that. You don't have to do those things, so don't feel like you have to, but please tell me if you're going, so I know where you are. And then just be a responsible traveler. You're in another country, be very respectful of their traditions and their customs. If you guys have been on an LDS mission, you probably understand this. Or if you've been to another country, you probably know, respect other countries. Make sure you, if you are questionable about something, oh, should I do this? I don't know if I should do this. You probably shouldn't do it. Okay? And then just, have fun. And then when we get back home, if anybody feels sick, has a fever above 100, or you're particularly concerned about getting sick, you probably should go to your doctor. Maybe come to the RHS office and let us know if you are sick and it's something from the trip. I don't think that has ever happened, knock on wood, but if you have any sort of issues with that, make sure you go to a doctor. Does anybody have any questions about what we talked about? No? Everybody's pretty good on that? Most of the stuff's just precautions. We've had one incident where a student got sick. They weren't drinking enough water. So make sure you're staying hydrated. We'll constantly be reminding you, are you drinking enough water? Make sure you're drinking enough water. Because if you haven't been exposed to humidity and that type of heat, it's definitely a change for you. So make sure you're drinking a lot of water. Okay, so now we're going to talk about Gays for Girls. I'm going to show you the video first, just so you can see kind of what we're going to talk about. It's a little bit what's the word? Has anybody looked at the training that I sent last night yet? Probably not. A little bit. Okay. So there's a story, and we'll kind of talk about it after with the training. But for me, it was very emotional to read the story. So we'll just watch the video and then we'll talk about it. I'm just going to turn off the lights so we can actually see this. There we go. It's awfully dark. Okay. Sorry, there's subtitles.
म पहिलोपटक 15 वर्ष घुमेर मिन्स भएँ। म स्कुल आउने क्रममा बाटोमा मिन्स भएको थिएँ र मलाई बाटोमा हिँड्दै हिँड्दै नराम्रो महसुस लाग्यो अनि म घर फर्केँ। घर गएर मेरो मम्मीले भनेको चाहिँ म 7 दिनसम्म कोर्समा बसेँ। मेरो आमाले मिन्स भन्ने कुरा अशुद्ध हो नराम्रो हो भनेर भन्नुभएको। मलाई छाउगोठमा बस्दाखेरि एकदमै डर लागेको, कतै सर्पले डस्छ कि कोही केटाहरू आउँछन् कि भन्ने एउटा खुल्ला किसिमको कोठमा बस्दाखेरि मलाई एकदमै डर लागेको थियो।
मेरो नाम लीला सिंह खेडा हो। म डेस्फोर्ड बस कालीकोटमा फिलहाल स्कुलमा काम गर्छु। म छाउपडीमा हुर्किएको। एकदमै अरूभन्दा फरक लाग्यो, एकदमै डर लाग्यो। म छोरी भएर किन जन्मिएँ जस्तो पनि लाग्यो। किन भन्दाखेरि दिनमा चाहिँ कसैको अनुहार हेर्न नमिल्ने, वनमा अथवा ओडारमा चाहिँ लुक्नुपर्ने अवस्था। छाउपडी प्रथा परापूर्व कालदेखि चल्दै आएको चलन हो। महिला तथा किशोरीहरूलाई कसरी चाहिँ सुरक्षित राख्ने भन्ने चाहिँ हाम्रो चाहिँ लक्ष्य हो। हाम्रो चाहिँ डिएफसीले बनाएको करिकुलम अनुसार चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ महिला तथा किशोरीहरूलाई शिक्षा दिने काम गर्छौँ। जस्तै चाहिँ महिनावारी सम्बन्धी कसरी हात कसरी धुने, मानवीय विघटनबाट कसरी चाहिँ पस्ने र पुनः प्रयोग गर्न मिल्ने, दोहोरेर प्रयोग गर्न मिल्ने चाहिँ हामीले चाहिँ प्याडहरू वितरण गर्छौँ। छाउपडी प्रथालाई चाहिँ अन्त्य गर्न त्यति सजिलो चाहिँ छैन, तर चाहिँ हामीले केही सफलता चाहिँ हासिल गरेका छौँ। सानो गोठमा बस्थेँ, तर अहिले चाहिँ फराकिलो र सफा ठाउँमा बस्ने चाहिँ गरेको पाएको।
हाम्रो समाजमा होइन महिनावारी भएको बेला महिनावारीलाई यो के अरे पाप हो होइन, महिनावारी भनेको के हो होइन, अनि महिनावारीको बारेमा हामीले एकदम दियौँ होइन स्वास्थ्य शिक्षा। प्याडहरूको बारेमा होइन, प्याडहरू उहाँहरूले यो त कसरी युज गर्ने थाहा नै हुन्थेन नि। मैले यसको तालिमले गर्दा महिनावारी पाप होइन ईश्वरको वरदान हो भन्ने कुरा सिकेँ। यसमा गजले दिएको प्याडले गर्दा म एकदम पनि नछुटाएर म रेगुलर स्कुल आइरहेको छु।
महिनावारी भनेको अशुद्ध कुरा होइन। संसारका महिलाहरू समाजमा घुलमिल हुनु उनीहरूको अधिकारको कुरा हो। यसलाई परिवर्तन गर्नको लागि छाउपडी प्रथालाई परिवर्तन गर्न जरुरी छ।
Days for Girls is a organization that gives out feminine hygiene products for girls over in third world countries. So Nepal, they took them to Panama when they went in the spring, the Dominican Republic, a lot of other places. So it's actually really depressing, but girls in those countries have, like some of them can't even afford underwear. So they can't go to school when they have their periods. They have to miss school. They are like shunned from something that in this country is just normal, you know, and it's kind of a taboo type of topic and it's a little uncomfortable to talk about. But what we'll be doing while we're over there is first everyone will have to do the training. So I sent the link and this is the website. You'll just go to the ambassadors, free course, and you'll just enroll. It's for free. And then you'll just sign up, you'll create like a password, whatever. And it is a little bit long, but a lot of it you can skim. You guys have taken health class, you're all, taken a science class, so you understand about the reproductive system, which is a lot of what it talks about. So you can easily just skip through most of it, but make sure you're getting the gist of what the program is. That's really what we want you to know. And when we're over there, we're going to be, I'll pass these out, but we're going to be talking to the girls that are there and talking about these. So that's why it would be helpful if somebody can speak Spanish. What you can do is give it to one of the older girls that is there and ask them, could you teach the other ones, because I don't speak Spanish. We could do something like that. But there will be people that will beg for the kids, and we really want to make sure we're staying in the ages of, I think it's 14 to 18 is what Rita said. So the teenage girls, there will be older women that will kind of beg for them. We don't really want to give them out. But what we'll be doing is we'll do literally a training about all of this stuff. And it is helpful if somebody does speak Spanish and can do the training. If not, somebody who can at least communicate with one of the girls in the group and say, hey, could you, train them how to do this? But I'll pass these around so you guys can kind of look at what it is. And then it'll show you in the video all of this stuff, but I'll just give you a little overview really quick. So what the training will be, you'll be talking about what's in that book, the reproductive system and stuff. But then we'll have to show them how to do this. So this is and they give them reusable sanitary pads. So they look like this. Hi. Over in the Dominican Republic and other third world countries, they can't afford to get pads and tampons. They need things that are reusable so they can wash them. So they'll wash them and then they'll hang them out to dry in the sun, which kind of kills all the bacteria. So we'll be teaching them, and I know for guys this is a little bit awkward, but you are all going to go into the healthcare profession, so you've got to get over this. So we'll be teaching them, so it clips right on here. Pretty simple, just like that. And then they have these that go in there, and they'll fold them just like this, 1, 2, 3. So you fold them just like that, and they'll tuck right in here, just like that. And the video online, when you watch the training, it'll show you how to do this. And then they give them a bunch of extras, so they can add another one on top if they need to. When they go to the bathroom at school, they can pull this one out and put a clean one in. And then this baggie that it comes with, so they can take all this stuff out. And it comes with, so they give them a bag in here, so they can put the dirty pads, these ones that get dirty, they can put them right in here, and then they can wrap them up, put them back in that bag, and it's privacy and no one sees. And other girls at school have those bags also, so it's not like they're embarrassed by this. But they give them a whole bunch of extras that they can add, and they'll also get two. Usually they get 2 of these. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just 1. Nope. So they get 2. They'll get 2 of these actual things. So they could use one for a day, wash it, use the other one, and then when they come home the next day, the other one will be clean. And I think in the video it tells you that they're good for about 4 to 5 years. When you'll watch it, you'll see. But it's pretty simple stuff. It's just, some of the books that, this stuff isn't taught to them about. They don't have, health class and things like we have in school. So that's kind of what our job will be, is educating them. And you guys can, switch off each day who wants to be in charge of Days for Girls. But really, as a staff, I'm there to help with questions and any concerns you guys have. But I really want you guys to take on these types of leadership roles and get involved with helping. This trip is for you guys, it's not for me. I'm there to oversee stuff, but we don't want to take away you guys getting to do, fun activities and interacting with the kids that are down there and stuff. Another thing to remember and we'll probably talk about this a little in the next meeting and stuff, is a lot of the children and the animals down there do have parasites, so just be careful, you know, don't be picking up kids, don't be kissing them. It's okay to, you can play with them, you can interact with them, just, you know, remember that, don't be picking them up and kissing them and stuff, and, you know, Rita said people have done that in the past, but just, you know, be kind of cautious of that, so, yeah.
Is the reason we don't give them to older people just limited supply and just trying to kind of?
Yeah, we just
Focus
really
on
want to
the-
focus our education and the supplies to the teenagers, because they're the ones that really need it the most. And a lot of times people will want them because they just want to sell them. Whereas most of these teenage girls, they just need them. So, go definitely everybody do that training, just so we all know what we're doing. And if any of you at Dixie, if anybody specifically wants to be like, I want to be in charge of this with Porter, since you've already volunteered to help out, it would be really nice to have you have another person help out with this also. So if anybody's interested, you know, just send me an email and say that you are. And like I said, if you speak Spanish fluently, it would be super helpful because I barely know Spanish. So going through those trainings with the girls that we're gonna have to give, it would be really hard for me because I don't speak Spanish. But like I said, you could, you know, talk with one of the girls there, one of the older girls, and ask them if they could give the training. And you could easily do this, but I don't know how to say any of the stuff that's in this bag in Spanish, you know what I mean? Like sanitary pad or, you know, extra lining. I don't know how to say any of that stuff in Spanish, so that's just one thing we're gonna have to think about while we're there. So I think that's pretty much it. Do you guys have any questions? No questions? No?
Just
Yeah.
one question I had with the SUU International Insurance, does that only cover you for the trip or is that like a year-round thing?
It's just a trip.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it'll cover you, if you don't have insurance, we've had students that have bought it for, just because they don't have insurance, and it's covered them in the country too. But normally it's just for students if you're gonna be going international. So, I mean, it's not required. Some people have really great insurance that will cover them internationally and they're not super worried about it. So if you're not worried about it, you know, don't lose sleep over it, but just know that it is an option if that's something that you wanna do. So just make sure everybody gets me all of their paperwork within probably the next week, because we're gonna have to send everything to the international office. If you want to, you know, help out with Days for Girls, it's a, you know, great leadership role. And if you speak Spanish and you wanna help out, that'd be even better. But, okay, that's pretty much it. You guys have any other sort of questions?